process it within 24 hours so that the provider will be able to get their monies. So we will appreciate that once we send you any payment notification, please kindly confirm and check at your end. We are begging the HMO officers to please, once you receive the email notification, just walk down to your account department and confirm that yes, truly have this been paid because we received so and so payment notifications. So we usually send our payment confirmations and receipts to providers that provide their email addresses. To providers that usually provide their email addresses. So we want to beg our providers, so people should please, as much as possible, send us your valid email addresses. Some will send email addresses of their MD CEO that they don't even have access to. And whereas we will be sending the payment notification to the MD CEO and they will not communicate to the HMO offices. So for those in the HMO offices, please kindly provide us with a valid email addresses that you have access to, not the ones that is for the organization, that for the hospitals that you don't have access to. We want you to provide us with valid email addresses so that the communication will not just be a one-way thing and we'll be able to receive feedbacks. And we also appreciate that once we send emails to you people should please kindly acknowledge it so that we'll be able to get that feedback. Because if we do not get any feedback, we will believe that you have received it and that means we have communicated. So we'll always appreciate feedbacks and we want you people to please send in your feedbacks. Then we seek further collaboration with the ACP Finance Department for better service delivery by showing more commitment in resolving any payment issues. Thank you very much. And this brings me to the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much, Kweju. You may unshare your screen so that the next presenter could, share his own screen. So coming up next is the address by the BD department. Our head of BD, Mr. Kolawole Adeshoga, will be represented by someone from his team, Precious Ubuna. So please go ahead and share your screen, Precious, and give the necessary information. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, rather. Good afternoon, everyone. I believe you can see my slides. Please confirm that you can see my slides.
Yes, I can, Precious, but please put it in.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Precious Ubuna. Just permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I'm representing my line manager, who is Mr. Kolawole Adeshoga. Okay, so I'm grateful at the fact that our MD has spoken. He has given us a clearer and a broader insight on who we are and what we represent. And our medical operation manager also has done that. So I'll start by saying, as the BD department, I will be giving us a rundown or a run through that will give you a broader insight on why the necessity or the necessary details why you should, partner with us in driving Philips HMO forward. So Philips HMO is an affiliate of Philips Consulting. It was vetted to revolutionize the healthcare system. So I'll further say that before Philips HMO was vetted, some visibility studies were carried out and we noticed an obvious gap. And this gap, led to this situation you can see on my slide, from delay in accessing care at the hospital to delay provider payments, delay in early registration, even to number 6, which you can see here, lack of trust and quality care. They really are not aware of their benefits. But I bring you solutions, which I can tell you that we have the best call center service, that cuts across all our E1 channel to ease communication for the provider and also for our enrollees. And I'll keep telling you one beautiful thing about our mobile app. Yes, I can guarantee you that we have the most effective and best in the industry, right? That helps our employee, or rather even help everyone that comes on board Philips HMO take charge of their health just at the very hands of their fingertips. With our mobile app, you can generate your EID card, you can get registered easily, you can get your verification, get your details, and see what your usage and all. So taking us further, I will also make us understand that we are nationally accredited. Yes, meaning that you can access medical care across Nigeria. You're not streamlined. Our enrollees are not streamlined to just a particular hospital or just a particular location. They can access medical care everywhere. So moving us further, I'll be making a statement which says that somebody said that vision is foresight with insight based on hindsight. And that takes us to what our vision is in Philips HMO. Our vision is to make healthcare available for everyone, while our vision is to deliver healthcare that works for you. And to take us next for that, a provider survey was done. I know that Margaret has been saying everybody try to fill up that provider survey report, and we understood the fact that that where two elephants fight is the grass that suffers. So with this, we had to carry out some, necessary provider survey, and these are the testimonials we got from it. You can see on my slide, one said, honestly, your swiftness and putting clients first is unbeatable anyway. And I made this request last night, and a few hours later, it's been fulfilled. Isn't that amazing to hear? And the second testimonial said, good performance on your service provider on the portal. And why I had to say this is that just take a look at the provider survey reports we had, in June 2022, and 100% of them said that we recommend Philips HMO. And I believe that is what I should be, trusting to hear from every provider here. They said they'll be recommending Philips HMO to others, which is a consistent figure we've been getting, even from our 3 previous survey reports. And 88% gave us 5/5 and 4/5 overall rating, which I can tell you is an improvement from our previous survey. And I'll also give a list, as you can see on my slides. We have PHMO products and services, and with this I can tell that everyone and anyone is invited to be a part of Philips HMO, meaning that that's an avenue to tell anyone around you, your working clients, anybody that Philips HMO has, you can see an array of a structured plan ranging from a private insurance, to school health plans, to tertiary institution plans, even to our third-party health, which we call TPA, to medical screening, even to customized plan. Yeah, so we carry out this customized plan to ensure that we meet specific needs in alignment with the enrollees' budget. So now this is where I say I look forward to your partnership. Taking us further, and I also say that we have other value additions from our pharmacy benefits to our roaming plan, to our periodic aerobic sessions and all. But there's one beautiful thing I would like to talk about this afternoon, which is our rebate on low utilization. And I believe that you can also help share that with, everyone that comes in contact with you. And for utilization I would say that our utilization is reviewed after about a year, and a certain discount is given, that could help navigate, or should I say reduce, your next premium payment. So I don't think anybody would want to hear that I'll be having a discount in my next premium payment and wouldn't want to partner with Philips HMO. And I'll also talk about our medical advisory committee, which is spearheaded by our own medical director, which is in person of Dr. Victor Benebo. And I tell you that we are one of the very few HMOs that has this in place. And this takes us to the fact that we ensure that quality care, across board is given, and we ensure that every necessary details from provider and to our enrollees are put in check. Okay, so permit me to end with this fable this afternoon, and I'll say a little story around it. And I would say that there was a young traveler man that met an old man on his way, and he asked him, "How can I get to Mount Olympus?" And he said, "The best way to get to Mount Olympus is by taking the next step." And I can tell you that the next best step is us looking up to you to, relay what Philips HMO is to everyone you come in contact with. So that is the next best step. And to that, I can say that these are some of our clients. We have an array of so many of our clients, obviously, that can't, be on this slide. And I can say contact us today and at sales@philipshmo.net, info@philipshmo.net, hcp@philipshmo.net. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And remember, just like I made that fable, that the next best step is us and you being in a beautiful partnership where you keep referring Philips HMO and we get to the mountaintop. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Precious, for that wonderful presentation. Thank you so much to our providers for sticking with us up until this time. Please, we ask that you still stick around with us. Please be patient with us. We're getting towards the tail end of the event. Of course, just a few presentations after this, and we'll be getting into the Q&A, which is obviously a very important segment where we get to address any concerns and questions that you've had all this while. All right, so without wasting any further time, I would like to also remind us to participate in the provider survey. We need more answers. Like Precious has actually buttressed, we use all of this feedback to aid in our decision making. All right, so we're going straight into our data protection processes. We have our data protection compliance with our head of IT and enrollment in the person of Mr. Tomi Ekundayo, who will be taking us on that very briefly. So please, Mr. Tomi, you have the floor. Thank you. Mr. Tomi, the floor is yours, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Margaret. I'll just proceed quickly with the presentation on data management, protection, and compliance. So as a start, we look at the overview. Data management and security as of data has become a global concern and challenge, and there's the need for organizations, institutions, and systems to implement proactive approach to ensuring integrity in terms of data use and protection. All right. Principally, the whole framework is all centered around personal information, and in Nigeria, as a country, what we have is the Nigerian Data Protection Commission. In 2023, the Nigerian Data Protection Act was signed into law, and as well as the Nigerian Data Protection Commission as a regulatory body. Why and what are the objectives of this Nigerian Data Protection Act? Principally, number one is to safeguard the fundamental rights and freedom of data subjects. I will touch on what data subject is shortly. Also to ensure that personal information is processed in a fair, lawful, and accountable manner. And then thirdly, to regulate the practice and operations of data processing and control in Nigeria. Over the years, there have been various incidents that have manifested in the area of data breach, misuse or mishandling of personal information, fraudulent use of personal information vis-a-vis imposition, and so on and so forth. So it becomes pertinent as for organizations to ensure that personal information of data subjects are being put to use appropriately within the scope of or the reason why it was acquired. When we say scope, what we're talking about scope, that is when personal information, now bringing it home to this occasion, the provider forum, is that we have various instances of enrollees who possibly visit our facilities, and there's information exchange, personal names, gender, health records, and so on and so forth. All these within the definitions of the Nigerian Data Protection Act all fall within what we call personal information. And as long as an individual can be identified or referred to by either through their maybe their names or health information, it is considered personal information, and those information are expected to be handled with utmost care. Not just utmost care in the area of processing it. Things like consent and so on must be acquired before personal information is transmitted in any medium, as the case may be. So the scope of the Nigerian Data Protection Act, where personal information is involved, like I mentioned earlier, personal identification information like name, health, gender, and things like that, where an entity is processing personal information, including yourselves as providers, processing, applying personal information into any activity, either to submit a request, either to process a lab test, and things like that. So as long as you are within that scope of processing personal information, the Act applies to you. And it's not just only those that are within Nigeria, it also applies to even entities that are outside Nigeria that are processing information of data subjects that are residing in Nigeria. So it's a wide domain that the Act covers. So just to touch on briefly on some of the key terminologies that I mentioned earlier. So when you say personal information, it means information that relates to an individual that can be used to identify them directly or indirectly. So like I said, their name, their identification number, their location, that is where they live, or even health records, physiological information, genetic information, and so on. So as long all this within the purview of your service delivery is being termed as personal information. And when we say data subject, we are referring to the individual to whom the personal information that you have obtained, either through interaction with the Philips HMO healthcare information management portal, or maybe when they visit your facility and consultation and things like that. A data subject is someone who personal information on data that have been obtained relates to. Then thirdly is the concept of consent Consent means what? Approval to process, to use, to share, and whether it could be written, it could be oral. Suggesting the individual or the data subject's approval or consent for you as a provider to process their information and for the purpose of what? Service delivery. So very important things that I would like us to note as a role of as healthcare providers to ensure that we are in compliance with the Nigerian Data Protection Act, principally in the aspect of lawful use of personal information. It is not. It is a breach when personal information is being put to use outside the scope for which it was obtained. In that context, there's exposure, or there's the risk of sanctions and litigations, both by the data subject or even by the regulator, which in this case, Nigerian Data Protection Commission. And this can be very heavy sanctions that are not something that we want to actually experience. Secondly, is to as healthcare providers, we obviously have service level agreements, so it's expected that we maintain and uphold confidentiality in the course of a service delivery to our utmost best. And then also, if for healthcare providers within the scope of the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, healthcare service providers are expected to be NDPC compliant. In other words, need to be registered with the Nigerian Data Protection, not just because for the purpose of registration, but for the purpose of what? Ensuring compliance, and also ensuring that the risk areas that you also may be exposed to, even vis-a-vis your engagement with other parties, even aside from Philips HMO, will ensure that you have eliminated certain risks and exposures, and also adopted systems to ensure that protection of data of personal data subjects are adequately implemented. All right, so if you can visit the Nigerian Data Protection Commission website for more information. That is www.ndpc.gov.ng. As an organization, Philips HMO, we have taken necessary measures to ensure that we are compliant with the Nigerian Data Protection Commission vis-a-vis registration, and also putting measures in place through our data protection policy and other high-level data protection compliance requirements as well. To conclude, consent of data subject is always required before processing or personal information in the course of service delivery. On that note, I want to say thank you for listening, and do enjoy the rest of this forum. Thank you. Over to you, Margaret.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tomi. We believe we have taken note of some of the important things you have shared with us as far as data protection is concerned. So without wasting any further time, we'll go straight to claims processing, claims submission, and all of that. So it's a portal training that will be anchored by our claims manager, Faith Okechukwu. So Faith, please take it away. So shortly after Faith, we'll be going straight into the Q&A session. So please have your questions ready regarding anything that has been presented today and any other concerns you may have. So Faith, please go ahead and share your screen and take the floor. Thank you. Hi, Faith. Do we have you on the call, please? I can see that your mic is on, Faith. Please go ahead and share your screen if you want to, and of course, go ahead with the presentation. While Faith is getting ready, please, I want to also remind us again of the provider survey. We still do not have a lot of survey responses. When we look at the number of providers that we have on this call, please drop your phone number on the survey forms, on the Google Forms, while you're taking part in that. So please, it is very important that you take part in the provider survey. We need your responses and all of that. All right, Faith, I think you're ready, so let me yield the floor. Thank you so much. Faith, if you're speaking, I cannot hear you. Faith, are you presenting yet?
Hello, can anyone hear me now?
Faith, I can hear you, but please increase your volume.
Okay, can you hear me now, right?
Yes, it's much louder now. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, my name is Faith Okechukwu, and I'm in the claims department. Claims department. For the, I would only talk about major things that I believe that we all know. I'll start with and also.
Wait, can you speak louder, please? Can you speak louder, please? Can you project your voice or speak closer to the mic?
Yes, okay, what about now? Am I loud enough?
Great, great, great. It's fine now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll start with, I was going to talk about three major things: how to check in enrollee, because without checking in enrollee, you'll be able to submit the claims detail of that person on the portal. I'll also talk about final submission. Times we get providers calling us that they have submitted their claims and we have not paid them. So by the time we check
Apologies, Faith.
out,
Sorry, Faith. Is your laptop's volume all the way up, please? Because
yes.
some of the providers are struggling to hear you. No, go back to that setting you did. It's not all the way up.
Let me check. That saying is not all.
Just go down to your volume button down here, the bottom right corner.
Hello, can you hear me now?
It's a lot louder now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm going back to share my screen. Okay, I think I will have to repeat myself again. I said earlier that I was going to talk about how to check in and release, because without this, you would not be able to submit the claims detail of the release on the portal. And I also said I was going to talk about final submission, because we get complaints from providers that they've submitted their claims and we are yet to pay them. So the portal to check, we realize that truly they've uploaded the claims on the portal, but they have not clicked on final submission. So I'm just going to show us how to do that to prevent such complaints from coming up there. Because if you don't click on that final submission, we will not be able to work on the claims from the end. And then finally, I would talk about payment advice. Once your claims have been submitted, we vet and then send for payments, you can get your payment advice from your portal. That is details of your claims vetting, what was paid for, what was denied, the amount cut short, and the reasons. That's the payment advice. Because we get mails from providers asking for this payment advice when you can get it from your portal for your review. So let's get to it. Now, when you get to, just go to your browser and then let me read this. Once you just type in Philips HMO, it's going to take you, it's going to bring you to the login page. So what you have to do is to put in your provider's login details, which I'm going to do now. And that's the username and the password. And I believe that all providers have their portal login details, because at the point of onboarding, to share your login details with you all. And if you do not have yours, you can reach out to your provider managers. I think for Lagos is Patricia, and then we have for other states. But if you're not sure of which is yours, you can send email to HCP and to be forwarded to the right person who will get back to you. So now I've logged into this provider's portal. This is a demo provider called Philips Test Hospital. Here at the right hand for confirmation. So I said earlier, the first thing I'll talk about is to check in the enrolling, and you can do that from this page. So once you click on home, it asks you for the enrolling number or last name. Now I'm clicking on enrolling number, so I'm going to just put in an enrolling number. Once I'm done, I click on submit, and then it gives me the details of the enrollee and the dependents. The enrollee and the dependents. So just click on this view. Each of them has this view tab. Click on it and it will ask you, is this enrollee currently at the hospital? No, yes. So you click on yes, enrollee present. So at that moment, you have checked this particular enrollee. You have checked this enrollee in, and you can scroll down to get further details. You can see here enrollee is active, and you can also see here this enrollee is allowed to use this hospital. So I think Dr. Azidor in his presentation also made mention that you can, when you try to check and you see a different provider's name that is not, to go ahead to attend to the enrollee, because some of these enrollees are allowed to roam. So now that's about checking. Please ensure by doing this, you have confirmed the eligibility of this provider and you have also checked the enrollee in. Because without that, you would not be able to submit. The next thing is final submission. Now let's go to claims. I'll click on primary claims. When you click on claims, the first thing you do is to create a batch. So I'm going to create a batch number. This is the month of March. So I'm going to click March, March 2025 primary claims. One thing your batch number should contain is the name of the provider, the month, the year, and the type. Your batch number should contain that. Then you select the month. This is for the month of March 2025. And then you click on Save Batch. Now, that's the first thing you do when you want to submit claims to create a batch. Now, I'm done. You can see now batch has been created successfully. That's the first thing you do. Now you click on check-in. Once you click on check-in, it's going to bring out the enrollee details, because earlier you had already checked in the enrollee when you were confirming eligibility. So this is it. I just select the enrollee's name, then I select the batch I just created. I created for March 2025, and then I scroll down. Encounter date from, so this is an outpatient case. This person came in 27th of March and also left 27th of March. It's an outpatient case. Then the diagnosis code, you can see here that it is stated that you can only put in ICD code. You cannot manually, the portal is not designed to accept manual, like the manual diagnosis like malaria, typhoid, tonsillitis, and the rest. You have to get the ICD-10 code of that diagnosis. So and how do you get that? Just go to your browser, type in the diagnosis, malaria, and then put in ICD-10. Once you do that, it's going to give you the ICD-10 code. So I'm just going to take this B54. I come back to my portal and then I put in B54. You can see it's unspecified malaria. Now, procedure code. This person came in and saw a doctor. That's general consult. Quantity 1. So please, when selecting our quantities, let's always be careful, because while trying to select one, the cursor can just scroll down and go to a different number, because we've seen a provider submitting general consult and the quantity was 40. I believe that was an error submission. I just want to believe that was an error. But to prevent that, we should just be careful when selecting quantities, and the price automatically pops up because your tariff has already been uploaded, been matched to your portal. So whenever you click the procedure item and the quantity, the price automatically comes up. Like if I click on 2, let's say I click on 9.8 for example, by the time I check the total bill, it's going to be like that 16,000 naira. But let's just do the normal thing. I click on 2,000 and I click on add to list. It's going to ask me, please enter comments. So I just come here. Every details you feel that we would need that would assist us in vetting your provider's claims, please help us put it in the comments. Let's say, for example, then really you have query diagnosis. For example, you can have something like malaria, queried tonsillitis, but because there is no ICD-10 code for queried tonsillitis, but please put it in the claims comment so that when we are vetting the claims, normal, for example, normal treatment for malaria is anti-malaria, right? But because this tonsillitis is queried and you did not put it in the comment, and I'm seeing antibiotics, definitely and automatically is going to be denied. But when we see queries tonsillitis and a full blood count was done in the comments, it will assist us in vetting this bill, and the work is done easy peasy. So I'm just going to put enrollee, just for the sake of this training, I'll just put enrollee came in to see a doctor, but that should not be your own comments when you're submitting your claims in real time. Came in to see a doctor, and then I had to list. Okay, so that goes. Then every other thing that you wish to add, they really have seen a doctor, did a malaria test, did a malaria test, was given artemether coartem 8480, was given paracetamol, and just everything that was done. Please ensure that you put it in. You put it in, and when you're done putting in everything for this particular enrollee, that is only when you can click on add to batch. I'm going to say that again. As you keep on adding all the things that was done for this particular person, this Feto Kichuku, all you need to do is to keep clicking on add to list. Do not click on add to batch until you're done. So now this is all I have added so far for this person. You can see there's general consult, there is MP, that's malaria parasite test. Now this is just for a training. I'm going to stop here. Then I'll come here to click on add to batch. Are you sure you want to add to batch? Okay. So it's going to tell you claims added to batch successfully. So if you scroll down here, you're going to see the details of the claims you have added. You can see total charge amount 25. What in your own case at the end of the month, you can see like 100,000 or 50,000, depending on the volume of claims you submitted. Then the total number of claims is just 2 because just GP and MP. Then I would click on final submission. Now I'm going to say it again. If you do not click on final submission after uploading your claims, we will not be able to work on your claims. We will not be able to work on your claims, and your claims might just be pending there, and you would be worrying why you've not gotten payment for your claims. Recently, a provider reached out to us for payment of their January 2024 claims, and on checking the portal, truly it was uploaded, but they never submitted. So they had to submit, and it was vetted, and they were paid. So to avoid such delay and back and forth, I would advise and encourage us that once you're done uploading your claim, just scroll down to the right hand corner of your page and click on final submission. Now that I've clicked on final submission, I just clicked on it. So it's going to ask me, please note that this submission is final and you will not be able to add any more claims to this batch. Are you sure you want to proceed? If you're not sure, please cancel and then add whichever one you feel you've forgotten to add. And if you're sure you've added everything for the month, then you can go ahead and click on yes, submit claims. And it tells you batch claims has been submitted successfully. Now, from this stage, we would take over. Then we can vet your claims and then push for payment. Now that's about final submission. And the last one I'll be talking about is payment advice. I said earlier that payment advice is a report that shows how your claims were vetted, what was denied, what was approved, what quantity was reduced, what amount was reduced, just the details of your claims vetting. And every provider can get that from the portal. Every provider can get that from the portal. So I'm just going to show you guys how to get your payment advice. So now we'll come to report and click on process claims report. Now under this report, you can get your tariff from tariff reports. You can track your submitted claims report from here, and you can check your payment advice. Now this process claims report is your payment advice. I'm going to click on it now. And for this, I'm just going to use September 2021 for an example. September year 2021, and it's going to ask you to choose no auto pre-auth. Remember, our claims are in no auth and pre-auth. No auth are the primary that do not require authorization, while pre-auth are the secondary that requires authorization. Now you select the batch number and then you click on get data. Now at the right hand corner, you can see the claim summary, right? So for us to expand it, instead of scrolling left and right, just click on more details and then scroll down to get your payment advice. Now you can see here, it's showing no data found. This is because the drop down here is currently unapproved. Okay. Now, like I said in the beginning of this session, that this is a demo provider. It's not real. So whatever items we upload here is just for the sake of training, and after the training we deny all, and that's why you're seeing that there is nothing under approved. So I'm just going to click on the drop down and then go to denied. Now you can see the details, you can see the entries, and if you scroll to your right, you would see the denial reason. Build amount exceeds approved tariff for the. There's a lot of denial reason you will find. This is just a demo stuff, so you might not really get. Okay, let me check if there is. Okay, there is another denial reason here. There is duplicate account submission. For example, let's say a provider erroneously submits general consults for the same dates for same enrollee. So the system automatically denies one as a duplicate encounter. Then this one is procedure denied on case management. Like I told you, this is a demo provider portal, so everything has been denied. You can see just general consult or true full account on MP. But for you, when you check your own payment advice, you would get real-time denial reasons, and you can check, okay, this is amoxicillin, 20 naira per tab and 20 units was given. And then you see a comment like 10 tabs approved, and then the reason. So that's that. And for easy viewing, instead of going up and down, left and right on your portal, you can see this export to Excel. You just click on it and automatically it downloads. Then you can just click on it, open it, and then you see your details, the details of your claims vetting. And if afterwards you're not comfortable, then you can reach out to your provider manager for that engagement. So far so good. That's all about my session. I said I was going to talk about the check-in. Please ensure that every Philips HMO enrollee that comes onto your facility, you check in the enrollee and you check eligibility, because if you erroneously or unintentionally or intentionally attend to an enrollee that has been deactivated or is not active, who will not be looking for the right word to say, we will not be compelled, or we will not make payment, because it's expected that you should check the release eligibility. So it's just like you killing two birds with a stone. As you're checking eligibility, you're doing the check-in, because without the check-in you would not be able to submit the claims. And it is advisable you do this while the enrollee is still at your facility and not when the enrollee has left the facility. Now that's about the check-in. And then I also talked about final submission. If you do not click on final submission, we will not be able to work on your claim. So I advise again, and I say again, and I reiterate again, that please ensure you click on final submission when you are done uploading your claims. Now the last thing is the payment advice. Every provider has the access to get their payment advice from the portal. So far you have your portal login details. So far you are able to submit claims on the portal, you can get a payment advice. So please, once you're paid and you want to see the reason why I submitted 100, for example, once you're paid and you want to understand why you submitted 100,000 and 80,000 was paid, or what you submitted 10,000 and 2,000 was paid, go to your portal, log in, go to your payment advice, and you can get all the details there for your so I think that brings me to the end of this session. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Faith. That was quite packed. I believe a lot of our providers have taken note of some of the things that you've shown them as far as claim submission and every other modality that is involved in the claims process. All right, so we're going straight into the Q&A session. This is a very important segment of this forum. We believe you're able to air your views now And just some ground rules for this. Please go ahead and use the raise hand icon, and we will obviously call you if you have any questions. So if you've already dropped your questions in the chat and they've been attended to, you may ignore that. But where you have other questions that you've not, that have not been treated, or you want to speak to something, or you want to give any form of comments, please go ahead and use the raise hand icon. The IT team will enable your mic so that you can go ahead and drop your question. I think someone can facilitate this. Let me have a look at this. I'm not sure I can see some of the hands that are raised from my end, but I can see that a couple of people have started raising their hands. IT, I don't know if you want to regulate this process. So we have about three hands that have been raised so far.
Edith, can go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. Edith Udeme, please. Your hand is raised. Your mic has also been enabled. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you for all your explanations. I'm from
Thank you so much.
House. I sent a request via the portal for one Jenny Akuma Sonia for antenatal approval. It was denied 2 weeks ago. And I sent the phone number so PHMO could reach out to her. And I called a few days ago and she told me that Philip called. So I want to know why such request was denied. Thank you.
Okay, well, this just coming to my attention. Thank you. So